Hello, mathematicians. Welcome to math class with me, Miss Taylor. I'm glad you're here. So let's get started. Do we have our fact practice packet? I've got mine right here. Do we have our textbook? Got my textbook right here. Do we have our workbook? And we will need some kind of paper or pencil or a whiteboard. So I've got my whiteboard here. If you don't have these things, please pause the video and get what you need and come right back to math class. All right, so let's see. The first thing we're going to do is our fact practice packet. So for today, let's see, today is Tuesday. It is December 15th, and that means we are on page 4 in our fact practice packet. Oh, and you know what else we need is a ruler. See, I forgot, we need a ruler. So if you don't have a ruler, probably want to go and get one. You could do your fact practice after our math lesson if you'd like to, or you could pause the video and get your ruler right now. So let's see, we said it was December 15th. Here we go, 12:15. And we are doing page 4. So page number 4 for today. And we are measuring in inches. And when we're measuring in inches, you will remember that our ruler has 2 sides. The smaller sides are the centimeters, the teeny tiny centimeters. My pinky fits in the centimeters. And then the bigger ones are on this other side. And for me, I can fit about 2 fingers as an inch. There's an inch, there's an inch, there's an inch. So we're going to use the side with the bigger chunks, the bigger spaces. Those are inches. And when we measure, we have to make sure we line up the 0 mark, which is this line here, with the edge of whatever we're measuring. So here we're going to line it up with this bar here. And we can see that the bar, or this rectangle, it stops right between the 3 and the 4. And when something stops right between 2 numbers, it's half. So this would be 3.5 inches. So that's how we write that, as 3 and 1, and then we make a line over 2, 3.5 inches. This next one, actually these next 2, and you can kind of check here, are 1.5 inches. And again, because it's kind of right between the 1 and the 2, so this would be 1.5, 1.5 inches for both of those. And then this one down here, if we line it up with the mark there, and it stops right on the number 3. So this one would just be 3 inches. All right, let's try one more together. And then I will let you finish this up on your own. If we line them up there with there's that 0 mark, and then we see, where does it stop? It stops right at the 4. So this one would be 4 inches. Okay, so you can go ahead and pause the video if you want to finish your fact practice right now, or you could do this after our lesson. All right, so today we are going to do a little practice in our textbooks, and we're going to do some review, actually. All right, so we are going to look at page 87. Nope, we're going to look at page 88. Okay. So page 88 in our textbook, we have some review to do. So we have we finished our chapter, our unit about weight. We've learned about pounds and ounces and kilograms and grams. And now we're going to do just a little bit of review and practice. And then on Thursday, we'll have a little test. And then on Friday, we will probably do something just a little bit fun because it's the day before winter break. So sometimes when we have these review pages in our textbook, there is a lot to do. So this, if we did all of this, it would probably take us quite a while. Now, you definitely could do all of it. I like to recommend choosing one column up here at the top, so that we can do a little bit of practice with adding and subtracting, but we don't have to do 5 plus 5 plus 5. Let's see, 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 5 more is 15. So we don't have to do 15 problems before we even get to any of the like word problems. So I would choose one column, kind of practice a few of those, and it's up to you whether you want to do it on paper or if you want to do it on your whiteboard. I kind of like to use my whiteboard. I think it's more fun to write on a whiteboard. Let's see. Well, this one, you know what? I think I can use mental math for this one. I'm going to pick column A. And 253 plus 8, well, I know 2 plus 8 makes 10. So 3 plus 8 must be 11. So it's kind of like 250 plus 11. And I know that would be 261. So that one, I'm not even going to write that one down. But this one, let me check. 509 plus 128. So there's a little bit of renaming I'm going to have to do here. 509 plus 128. I'm going to start in the ones place like I always do. I'm going to start at the top. 9 plus 9. Well, let's see. I know. I'm not 9 plus 9. 9 plus 8. I was thinking about 9 plus 9 because these are almost doubles. 9 plus 9 is 18. So 9 plus 7 is one less than that. So that's going to be 17. And I'm going to rename that because I can't put two digits down here. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 tens, I should say. 5 hundreds plus 100 is 6 hundreds. Yeah, nice job. Thank you. All right. Why don't let's skip down to this one. 843 minus 289. Let's see, did I write that down correctly? I think so. Okay. All right, we're going to start at the top. If I have 3, can I take away 9? Only have 3? Nope. I've got to go next door and get some more. So I'll make this a 3. This becomes a 13. Okay, now I can do it. If I have 13, I can take away 9. Or I can think 9 plus what gets me up to 13? 4, right? Am I right? I think so. Okay, 3 minus 8. Now if I have 3, can I take away 8? I still can't do it. So I'm going to go next door and get some more. This becomes a 7, and that becomes a 13 because we're renaming 100 as 10 tens. So I just made this 3 into a 13 because we were putting 10 tens over there. 13 minus 8, well, let's see, I'm thinking 8 plus what gets me up to 13? I know 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 3 more gets me up to 13. All right, and then 7 hundreds minus 2 hundreds is 5 hundreds. All right, I think we got it. If I wanted to check my work, I could add these two parts together to see if they equal our whole number, which is a very prudent way to check your work. All right, so let's go ahead and look down here. We have a couple of scales, and this one says the watermelon weighs blank kilograms. And we can see that the scale is pointing right at the 4. So if it's pointing right at the 4, the watermelon weighs 4 kilograms. So just 4. But this one, the vegetables, now this one's a little more interesting. The vegetables weigh blank grams. So this one was kilograms. This one is grams. And as I look at the scale, I'm noticing that it starts at the 0 and it goes to 100 and then 200 and then 300 and then 400. But the little arrow here is pointing right between the 300 and the 400. So how much do the vegetables weigh? Let's see, would it be 310? I don't think that would make sense because if this was 310, this would be 320. So it looks like if I look up here, the 0 and the 100, these little tiny lines in between must be going by 10. So I'm thinking 300, 310, 320, 330, 340, 350. So the vegetables weigh 350 grams. And that would be right in between there, 350. Just like if it was right at the bottom here, they would weigh, do you know? Yeah, this would be 250 if it were pointing straight down at the bottom. Nice job, scholars. All right. Now, this next one down here at the bottom, this is a little review for us about greater than, less than, or equal to. Ooh. So here we have 1 kilogram on this side and 1 gram on the other. Now remember the open mouth, the kind of hungry crocodile, Pac-Man alligator person wants to eat the bigger one. And if you had a kilogram on this side and a gram on this side, 1 kilogram on this side and 1 gram on this side, if it was a hungry alligator, Pac-Man crocodile person, monster guy, whatever, they would want to eat the kilogram because a kilogram is much heavier than a gram. And if you wanted to make it into a little Pac-Man monster alligator guy, you could. Yum, yum, yum. Kilogram. Okay. Kilogram is actually the same as 1,000 of these. 1,000 grams. So kilogram is definitely bigger. All right. Let's go across over here. Now here we have 1 pound and 1 kilogram. So 1 lb, that stands for pound. 1 pound on this side and 1 kilogram on this side. So pound on this side, kilogram on this side. Now the kilogram, remember, I had that big jar of soup. It was a kilogram. I also used, not the jar of soup, it was a jar of spaghetti sauce, I believe. That big jar of spaghetti sauce was a kilogram. But I also had 2 containers of soup together that made a kilogram. But a pound is only about the weight of 1 can of soup. So I remember a pound is smaller. It doesn't weigh as, it's lighter, I should say. 1 pound is lighter than a kilogram. So if there was like a hungry crocodile, alligator, monster person, they would want to eat the kilogram, a kilogram of food or something like that. So kilogram would be bigger. All right. Let's see, what about, maybe I'll just put my pen under here. We can look at this one. 3 centimeters or 3 meters? That would be going this way, right? Meters is bigger. 12 feet or 12 feet? Hey, they're trying to trick us. 12 feet is equal to 12 feet, right? Okay, so what I would like you to do is to kind of complete this stuff here, and then you're going to check your answers. So I took a picture of my work, and what I'd like you to do is do a little bit of practice on here and then check your work by looking at Miss Taylor's paper, which looks like this, okay? Yeah, and then over here to the side, we have a few, this is kind of like fill in the missing numbers. 70 plus what equals 78? Well, in order to find the missing part, you can subtract. You can say, well, because this is the whole number, right? 78 minus 70 is 8. So the missing number is 8. So you can kind of use the opposite, the inverse operation to find the missing number. Or you can kind of just think about, well, if I have 200, how many more do I need to get 208? You need 8 more. But these are, when these are subtracting down here, now when we subtract, we start with the whole number. We're trying to find the missing part, and then our answer is the other part. So this one, we could sort of do the opposite. We could say, well, 694 plus what would get us up to our whole number? And I know 694 plus 100 would get us up to this number. Let's see, 794 minus 100. Yeah, that would work. Okay. Alrighty, and then we have a few word problems here. If you would like to go through all of our steps to solve word problems. Miss Taylor, where's your paper? My steps to solve word problems, there it is. You definitely could do that. Maybe pick 1 or 2 to go through all the steps of our word problems. I did want to do one of these together because a couple of these are really interesting ones. Let's see. Why don't we try this last one, number 12. All right, so we're going to do number 12 together. It says, the total weight of an apple and a pineapple is 840 grams. The apple weighs 90 grams. Find the weight of the pineapple. Okay, so we read the problem, the first part anyway, underline the question. And the question here is kind of what they're asking us to do. It's more of a statement. Find the weight of the pineapple. We'll do that. All right, I think for now we're not going to do the answer sentence because we have two things we're going to figure out. We're going to focus on the who and the what in the unit bar. Okay, so who, do we know whose apple and pineapple we have? Not really. But maybe we could say, let me zoom out for a sec, we could say the weight. What we're trying to find is the weight of, maybe we'll just say some fruit. The weight of some fruit. Okay. And then we are going to draw our unit bar. And unit bar is just a fancy name for a rectangle. There's our rectangle. Okay. Now we need to go back and reread the problem. Adjust and chunk your unit bar. Fill in the information, write a question mark for the unknown. So this step 4 is where we have a lot to do. So let's go back to our problem. The total weight, like the whole, of an apple and a pineapple is 840 grams. So together, these two fruit weigh 840 grams. Okay. We also know that the apple weighs 90 grams, and they would like us to find the weight of the pineapple. So what we're going to do is we're going to chunk our unit bar into 2 chunks. I'm going to make this chunk kind of small because the apple only weighs 90 grams. And then my question mark over here, and I know the pineapple is going to weigh quite a bit more than this apple. So to find the weight of the pineapple, well, let's see. We're kind of moving on to working our computation. That means add, subtract, multiply, or divide. And I know to find this missing part, we need to subtract. So 840 minus 90. And that is going to give us our missing part. So we always start in the ones place and we always start at the top. 0 minus 0 is 0. Now we go to the tens place. 4 minus 9. If I have 4, can I take away 9? Nope. So let's do a little renaming here. There we go. Now I can do this. 14 minus 9 is 5. 700ths, put my 0 there, minus nothing is 7. Then we can go up here, can fill in our answer, see if it makes sense. So I'm going to cross off my question mark. And let's see, would that make sense if the pineapple weighed 750 grams? What else we can do is label our unit bar. That would be a very prudent idea. Pineapple and the apple, and that helps us to see, does our answer make sense? If the apple weighs 90 grams and the pineapple weighs 750, yeah, I think that would make sense because together a 90 is close to 100 and 750 plus 100 be 850. Yeah, take away 10. That would make sense. So the weight of the pineapple is 750 grams. But we're not finished yet. Ooh, this is a 2-step word problem. How much heavier is the pineapple than the apple? Ooh, so I'm going to erase this unit bar. I've got to remember this fact though. So the pineapple weighs 750 grams. Can you help me remember that? Pineapple weighs 750 grams. And we want to find out how much heavier is the pineapple than the apple. So if the pineapple is 750 grams, that's for the pineapple, and the apple is 90 grams. Put my 0 there if I'd like. We're going to subtract to find out how much bigger how much heavier the pineapple is. So 0 minus 0 is 0. 5 minus 9, we can't do that if we only have 5. So I'm going to go next door and get some more. There we go. 15 minus 9 is 6. 6 minus 0 is 6. So we could say the pineapple is 660 grams heavier than the apple. All right, so nice work, students. Nice work on our review. So again, you're going to do a little practice on these pages, and then you're going to check your work with Miss Taylor on my paper. You'll notice I have a little paper here that I made a little mistake on. Let me show you. I was working my computation for a problem, and I just went, oh, let's see, I can't do, I've got to rename that, and then make this a 10, make this a 9, make this a 10. And I was like, wait a second. I don't have to rename here. I can do 0 minus 0. So I did make a mistake there, and I thought, well, I'll just use this to show you what it should be, because I was using pen and not pencil. But anyway, so if you make mistakes, that is okay. It is a really great way for us to learn. Like, wait a second, and Taylor was just crossing off and doing all this stuff, and then I was like, wait, 10 minus, wait, that's not right. And anywho, so if you're wondering, Taylor, what's that yellow paper? That was my little mistake there. So you're going to do a little practice. You're going to check your work with Miss Taylor's paper, and then you are going to do your homework for today is pages 87 to 89. Let's see. Okay. So on page 87, we just have a little bit of review work to do. Here's some adding, some subtracting. This is another one of those kind of find the missing numbers. So thinking about like, well, let's see, 300 plus something plus 8 equals 398. And I can see here that the 90 is missing. So we need 90 there. So kind of thinking about trying to fill in those missing numbers. And when you get down here, it says write 2 addition sentences and 2 subtraction sentences using the numbers in the bag. So you will notice these numbers in the bag. One of them is a big number, the biggest number, which tells me, well, that must be the whole number. And then these other 2 numbers must be the parts. So here's a part and here's a part. And let's see, if I add these together, well, 60 plus 30 is 90, and 2 plus 8 is 10. So 90 and 10 makes 100. Yeah, so one of your fact family equations here, because we're kind of thinking about these as a fact family, would be 62 plus 38 equals 100. Now, to make the other equation, you're going to switch those numbers around. But when you do your subtraction sentences, remember when we subtract, we have to start with the whole number. So I'm just going to go ahead and plunk my whole number right at the beginning, because I know I always have to start with the whole number when I subtract. Okay? And then you're going to use these 3 numbers in all of these equations. So for this one, if I have 100 minus 62, so the whole number minus one of the parts, the answer is the other part. All right, so that's how you do that one. And let's see, on page 88, we have some patterns. 750, 740, 730. So you can kind of see the pattern there. It's getting smaller by 10. Now this one, I'm not sure yet until I move over here. And then I can see, whoa, we jumped from 392 to 592, and then 792, and then 992. Can you figure out the pattern? All right. Let's see. When you get down to number 6, be careful. These are a little bit tricky because if you look closely, ooh, this is 100, this is 200. So these little tiny marks are going by 10. So be careful. This would be kind of a trickier one. This one, we have, looks like a mango and an apple. It's not pointing directly at the 200. It looks like it's pointing right above the 200. And again, those little lines are worth 10 grams. Yeah, and then when you get to page 89 for today, these are going to be optional for you to do all of our steps, but it would be a really prudent idea to keep this near you if you wanted to try doing your unit bars and all the steps. So that is your homework for today. And let me know if you have any questions. I am here to help. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, mathematicians. Whoops.